The fields are quiet again. No engines, no dust. Just wind moving through what's left of the stubble. It's strange how fast the noise fades once the work is done. For months, every day was motion. Machines roaring, tires cutting through the soil, the rhythm of harvest holding everything together. Now it's just stillness. And in that stillness, the weight of everything catches up. I walk the yard slowly these days. The big harvester stands where I left it, paint dull from dust and time. It's earned its rest. So have I suppose. But farmers don't really rest. We just change the kind of work we do. Now it's repairs, planning, bills, and thinking about the next season before this one is even over. There's a strange comfort in that cycle, a feeling that as long as there's land to tend, there's a reason to keep going. But it's different now. Bigger, heavier, every decision echoes a little louder than before. Some nights I sit by the window, looking out across the dark fields, and wonder if I've come too far. If maybe the dream that pushed me forward is the same one that's slowly wearing me down. Still, when the wind carries the smell of cut grain and the stars stretch across the horizon, I remember why I started. Not for money, not even for success, but for this quiet moment after the storm, where I can stand on my land and know that for now, it's still mine. The days are shorter now. Frost settles on the tools before sunrise, and the air smells of diesel and cold iron. I spend most mornings in the shed, hands deep in grease and silence. The big machines need care. Every bolt checked, every hose replaced, as if tending to them might somehow fix the things inside me that still feel worn and uncertain. Sometimes I catch myself counting what's left. Not just money, but time, energy, trust. The balance never seems fair. Each upgrade bought me progress, but it also cost a piece of something I can't replace. I still owe more than I'd like to admit. Letters from the bank pile up on the desk, numbers that look colder every time I open them. Yet the work goes on, because out here, stopping isn't an option. The neighbor drops by once in a while. We share coffee from an old thermos, talk about repairs, weather, prices, the kind of small talk that carries big things underneath. He tells me his cattle are doing well, that the partnership's holding steady. I nod, pretending I don't feel the envy of someone whose world still feels manageable. But even through the weariness, there's a pulse beneath it all, a quiet belief that if I can just hold on long enough, things will settle. The land will give back, the machines will last, and maybe next season, I won't have to fight so hard to stay above water. For now, the rebuilding continues, bolt by bolt, day by day. Hope rebuilt from rust and routine. We don't talk about it much, the partnership, the money, or what it really means. Out here, words are cheap. It's the work that counts. When my neighbor shows up in the morning, he doesn't knock. He just parks by the gate, grabs his gloves, and starts working beside me. No plans, no questions, just rhythm. Together we fix fences, patch roofs, and check the feed troughs. Sometimes we talk about old times back when everything felt simpler. Other days we work in silence and let the sound of tools fill the gaps. There's a strange kind of comfort in that silence. Like neither of us needs to explain why we keep doing this. We both know what's at stake. The land, the animals, the legacy. They tie us here stronger than words ever could. One evening, as the sun dropped behind the barn, he said something that stuck with me. You know, he told me, no one ever wins in this business. You just survive long enough to call it a life I didn't answer. But he saw the truth in my face. It's easy to forget how much we rely on each other out here. When a storm hits, you don't think about pride. You think about who'll show up first to help you stand it. The partnership started as a financial decision, a way to afford the cattle, but now it feels like something more. A reminder that I'm not alone in this fight, that even in the quiet, someone else is listening to the same wind. And maybe that's all a farmer really needs. Not luck, not miracles, just one good neighbor and a reason to keep showing up. Winter always comes faster than I expect. One night the air smells of wet soil, and the next morning it's all white. The kind of cold that doesn't just bite your hands, it settles inside your bones. Days shrink into hours, and every chore feels twice as heavy. Fuel burns faster, metal stiffens, and silence stretches long between every sound. But the work doesn't stop. Cattle still need feeding, water troughs still freeze over, and fences never seem to hold through a storm. Each morning starts the same, a breath of frost in the air, the crunch of boots on frozen ground, and the low hum of engines waking from sleep. The herd waits near the gate, their breath steaming in the cold. They've learned my voice by now. When I call, they lift their heads and start to move, slow and calm, trusting that I'll bring what they need. Sometimes I envy that trust, the way they live in the moment, without worrying about what comes next. They don't care about bank statements or broken machinery. They just know that morning means food, and that somehow it always arrives. Inside the barn, tools hang in neat rows. I keep it clean now, not because I have time, but because it gives me something to control. When everything else feels uncertain, order becomes its own kind of prayer. Outside, the snow keeps falling. The world slows down to a whisper. And in that stillness, I remember something I almost forgot, that even in winter, the farm doesn't die. It just rests. Maybe that's what I'm doing too, resting, waiting for the thaw. The first thaw always feels unreal. The snow doesn't melt all at once. It fades slow and stubborn, leaving streaks of brown earth and puddles that mirror the sky. You can smell it before you see it, that damp mix of mud and life coming back. The fields breathe again, and somewhere beneath it all, the roots remember what to do. The days stretch a little longer. The sun still hides behind clouds, but its light feels softer now. I catch myself pausing at the gate, just watching the steam rise from the soil, like the land itself is waking up. The cattle feel it too. They move differently now, restless, louder, ready. They know the grass will return soon, that the long wait is ending. Funny how animals can sense change long before we do. With the thaw comes work, more repairs, planning, new expenses. The list grows faster than I can cross it off. But this time, I don't mind. Because for the first time in months, I want to be out there again. I take the tractor out just to feel the ground under the tires, soft again, alive again. There's something sacred in that sound. Mud clinging to rubber, the rhythm of movement returning. Not much has changed, really. The debt's still there. The worries haven't left. But the air feels lighter, and maybe that's enough for now. Sometimes survival isn't about winning. It's about outlasting the cold long enough to see the first green again. Every season starts with a question. Not what will I plant, but what will I risk this time? The thaw opens the land, but it also opens the mind to plans, possibilities, and the kind of dreams that cost more than they give. I look over the fields and see space. Space for growth, space for mistakes. The same space that nearly broke me last year. And still, the thought of standing still feels harder than the risk of moving forward. There's always another upgrade calling my name. A newer spreader, a better baler, a tractor that could pull a little harder, run a little longer. The dealers make it sound so easy. Just sign here, pay later, grow faster. But I've learned what later really means. It's long nights staring at numbers, days when diesel prices rise, and weeks when the rain doesn't come. Growth looks good on paper, but debt doesn't care about weather. Sometimes I think about the first machines I owned. Old, slow, stubborn, but simple. I could fix them with a wrench and a little patience. Now even my tools feel outdated. Progress moves faster than I can keep up with. Still, I can't help but chase it. Because out here, if you're not growing, you're falling behind. That's the rule. Unwritten, unfair, but real. So I stand between two roads again. The safe path that keeps me small, and the risky one that might lead somewhere better. And like every time before, I already know which one I'll take. Not because it's smart, not because it's easy, but because I'm a farmer, and we don't stop when it gets hard. We stop when it's over. The season never slows down the way you plan. You start with a list, and the list becomes a tide. Every time you cross one thing off, two more appear, both urgent, both expensive. The tractor threw a warning light last week. The sprayer pump is starting to leak. Small things, but out here, small things don't stay small for long. You learn to live between fixing and fearing. Sleep doesn't come easily anymore. Even when the day ends, the mind keeps working. Counting bills, replaying decisions, wondering which one will be the mistake that tips everything over. Sometimes I catch myself staring at the horizon, just watching the light fade. It's beautiful and heavy at the same time, because I know that for every sunset I get to see, something else is wearing down. A bearing, a bank account, a part of me. The cattle help. There's a rhythm to caring for them. Feed, water, check the fences. They don't ask questions. They just remind me that life still goes on, no matter how uncertain tomorrow feels. The neighbor came by with spare parts yesterday. We didn't talk about money. We just worked side by side, hands black with grease. Quiet understanding between us. Out here, help isn't asked for. It just shows up when it's needed. By evening, the machines were running again. I stood there listening to the engines hum, a fragile kind of music that meant I'd bought myself one more day. That's what survival feels like now. Not victory, not failure, just holding the balance for one more sunrise. Morning comes slowly now, the kind of gray light that feels like it's thinking before it decides to rise. The fields are damp, the air thick with the smell of feed and earth. The cattle wait near the gate, their shapes moving in the fog, big, strong, alive. The sound of them breathing feels heavier than words. These are the new ones, the beef herd I gambled everything to start. They don't know what it cost. The sold trucks, the sleepless nights, the long winter spent wondering if I'd made a mistake too big to fix. All they know is that when the gate opens, the feed comes, and for a moment, that feels like enough. I shovel the grain slowly, listening to the rhythm of hooves on wet soil. Steam rises from their backs as the sun finally breaks through the clouds. It hits the metal roof, turning the whole yard gold for just a second. It's strange how something so simple can feel like a promise. Not that things will get easier, but that they'll keep going. The neighbor waves from the road. He's heading to town for supplies. I lift a hand back, too tired to shout, too grateful to need words. Somehow that's enough conversation for today. When the troughs are full, I lean against the fence and watch the herd eat in silence. Every sound, the chewing, the wind, the distant hum of a tractor, blends into something almost peaceful. Maybe this is what all the noise was leading to. Not glory, not success. Just this, a quiet morning, a herd that trusts me, and the knowledge that I'm still here. I don't know what next season will bring. Maybe profit, maybe more debt. But for now, I have work, I have land, and I have life. And for the first time in a long time, that feels like enough.